Hello. Let's take a look at this word problem. Exactly same graph. So again, identify where the two values are on the graph. Now, can you tell whether that is increasing or decreasing? It is decreasing, so we should expect a negative answer. If you make a mistake, don't just put a negative in front of your answer. There could be another mistake. So again, suggest take the future value, subtract the past value, like that. Alrighty, and that introduces our negative when we do that. And again, I'm subtracting the months, so March next year would be 15, and December this year would be the 12. Get a negative in the numerator, that's our net change, and then simplify, and then write that sentence exactly like before, except we'll have the word decreasing and a different number. So between these two specific input values, write it out like I've got typed there. Write out the full output name that you're given was decreasing because the negative, the number per month, always per a single input. All right. All righty. So we've got this chart or graph, and we got points labeled on the graph, and the question, average rate of change between these two specific dates. Okay, so let's find them on the graph. Can you find them without me pointing at them to you like that? I don't know. There's March 10, like that. So we've got March 10, 2020 would be the input or X value, and the 345 would be the output or Y value. And then March 10, 2021, way over on the right side, same dealio there. So let's plug these values into the average rate of change formula. The Y value on top minus each other divided by the X value subtracted each other. Now this one, be careful when you do this. Highly recommend you take the future value and subtract the past value. That's how it works there. If you go forward, you might get the plus or minus wrong and not realize it, and then everything's wrong. So look at those 2 points and look at the two Y values. Do they increase? Yes. So we know when we set up the average rate of change, it needs to be positive. Do not just erase the negative. If you make a mistake, it could be a bigger problem. FYI, there you go. So I'm going to plug that into my formula there. So the 54,300 minus the 345, where'd the 15 come from? Well, one of the problems with dates and times is you might know that from March to March, it's 12 months. If you just write 12, you might get the sign wrong. So you need to make sure that you get it correct there. So if we start counting January 2020 with 1, then March that year is 3, and March next year is 15. It does simplify to 12. So the net value again is the numerator 53,955, and we want to write a sentence. Sometimes it might be phrased interpret in context, but we did this, I think, in Unit 1 with the modeling. Maybe just explain it in your own words. So you want to use the specific input values you're given between March 10, 2020 and March 10, 2021. Describe the output, the number of COVID cases in the United States of America. It's a positive value, was increasing that value per input unit, in this case per month. Awesome. Let's try the next pair.